let's redraw the autoencoder. Let's assume that we have a nice encoder that has been trained. And then here we have the decoder. So this is the encoder and decoder. And in the middle, we have our latent representation, which now I represent with just two components, Z1 and Z2, just as a representative. And let's assume that you train the autoencoder on let's assume some images. Let's assume they are painting by Van Gogh. So what happens once the autoencoder is trained on a set of images? So autoencoder train using Van Gogh artwork. Okay, using images of Van Gogh artwork. So what happened is that then let's assume that you have here we have one painting of Van Gogh. And imagine that here we have another image. Here we have an image of Van Gogh painting. And here we have an image of something else. Imagine that it is a still life drawing. We pass it through the let's call this image 1, image 2. So we pass it through the autoencoder, which spit us one point here is going to be the Van Gogh image. And maybe, this other point here is going to be the still life. Okay? So what you can do, we can do interpolation by, since we have 2 points in space, it can be any dimension, we can pass a line. So we can interpolate and draw a line between these 2 points. And then what happens is that we can define intermediate points. This will be new generated points. And so we have new, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 new latent vectors, which we can pass all of them through the decoder to give us back 7 images, in which here we start with Van Gogh, then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then here we have our still life. What is happening here that all these intermediate latent vectors correspond to transition pictures, images that transition from the Van Gogh painting to the given painting, to the still life. So you can go, for example, from a painting to a charcoal drawing. And that's basically this is interpolation. With the same idea, you can do also, with the same concept, you can do the style transfer. How? So the style transfer, image, style transfer. So imagine that the autoencoder has been trained on Van Gogh paintings. And then here we have a charcoal drawing of a still life. So we pass it through the encoder. We're gonna get again two latent vectors, So these basically correspond to Van Gogh, and this correspond to the still life. Now, what we can do, we're gonna do basically, we draw the line between these 2 points, and we can take the middle point here, the average between the two. But this average, can be biased. We can even do it a little bit close to the still life or close to Van Gogh. So, we can generate an average vector, an average latent vector, average latent vector, which then we're going to pass it through the decoder. And what's going to happen is that it will return us. This is basically Van Gogh. This is the still life. And here we have the new generated image, which, depending upon how you choose this point, or closer to Van Gogh or closer to the still life, is going to show, for example, a Van Gogh painting in charcoal style, or it can show a charcoal still life in painting style. So basically, that's the main idea. Okay.